Sairam. You're listening to Sai SOUL 100, a weekly podcast series with soul, or stories of unconditional love, shared by devotees of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba in celebration of his 100th birthday. We invite you to listen in on these motivational stories of his constant loving presence in devotees' lives. Offered at his lotus feet by the Sri Satya Sai International Organization USA, Mid-Atlantic region. Welcome to Sai SOUL 100.
Sairam, dear listeners, our guest today is Dr. Ghanshyam Patel, who is joining us from Belmead, New Jersey. Sairam, uncle.
Sairam, Prabha.
Please go ahead.
I'm going to take you back in the time in 1980. And listeners know that in those days, it was a little bit less crowded compared to later on. But still, there were lots of devotees coming there. I was very young also, about 37. I had to select the job. Job means I was employed as an engineer, and I had to change my job because our corporation decided to take a manufacturing to Scotland. And so what I thought that I would go and get advice from Swami. Now I had this was my fifth trip because I had gone to Swami 4 times before, and I had a wonderful Swami's love and so much experience. He blessed me so much and changed my whole life. And we had started, Sai centers in Cleveland, Ohio. And prior to that, we had other centers also. Since 72, I was involved in Swami's activity. So I thought that since I have this particular situation arise in my life, we were raising young family. We had 3 children. At that time, my eldest daughter was 5 years, and other son was 3 years, and the youngest son was 9 months. And so it was obviously that I may not be able to take my wife with us, but I would go alone to Puttaparthi and seek advice from Swami. My 3 children, out of the 2 elder ones, were going into Montessori school in Solon, Ohio, which is a suburb of Cleveland. And these Montessori school teachers were from Sri Lanka, and they had also some love for Swami, but they were not quite devotee, but they understood what we were doing because there were lots of other devotees they have met. And so when they knew that I am going alone, they insisted that my wife also can join us. But then my wife told them the real problem is that who will take care of the children? Because we have a 5 year, 3 years, and 9 months. But somehow the teacher insisted, I will send a teacher to your house and we will take care of your children. So this really gave encouragement to my wife a little bit. But still, I wasn't sure. So I went again to the school and asked what will happen. She said, no. She let Mrs. Patel also go. And we will take care of the children. I will send the teachers in your house to take care of. We decided, still weren't quite sure. So my wife went to the prayer room, and then Swami said yes in her own way. And then one of our friends from California, just a few weeks ago, they had an interview with Swami. He presented some Sirdi Baba's pendant. And those pendants, Swami looked at it and I was playing with them. And Swami said, Kya karega? What you will do with this? He said, no, I'm for my friend's children, like that. Now, I have to go back a little bit on the time schedule because my job was ending in February in 1980. And so what I did is that I tried to get more job offers around the country. And international offer I had, obviously, to go to Scotland for continuing with the same position there. So I got a job offer from Gould Company, General Electric in Cleveland, Ohio. I had offer from Ingersoll Rand in Princeton, New Jersey. I had offer from Kinney Vacuum from Boston, Massachusetts. I had another offer from a compressor manufacturer in Akron. And any other option Swami may select, out of all those 5 I had, if Swami wants me to something else, I was willing to do whatever Swami will ask me to do. Obviously, Swami will select the best for me. And so one of the offer, now we had to reply within, 1 or 2 weeks. And that was the due date was like 7th of March. And this year we are in the, end of the February. Luckily, that week I had a plan to start from Cleveland, end of the February. But we got this pendant from California, one of our friend, and my wife was satisfied that now Swami will take care of these children. Now, at those times, we didn't have this, electronic ticketing and all that. We had to physically get tickets from New York to Cleveland, Ohio, and all that. And another issue is the visa issue. So we didn't have time for a visa, but luckily, at that time, Indian government started a landing permit. Means if you go there, they will give you 30 days landing permit. So we said, okay, in 30 days, more than enough, so we will meet Swami, and Swami will give you all instructions, and we'll be happy, and we'll come back. And what happened, Prabha, that my wife and I started here Sunday, and then we reached Tuesday morning, in Indian time. But before that, just a week before that, I usually go to my home place in Gujarat, Baroda. And then I, go to Puttaparthi, or sometimes I go to Puttaparthi and then I go to visit my family. But previously, some of my family had come to Puttaparthi, and I wanted all my families to come to Puttaparthi to meet Swami. I was enjoying taking family to God. And I called them on the phone, and part of the family agreed to come to Bombay to meet me. So they had come in a matador, you might know in Indian, it's a small van, and they 6 of my family and the 2 drivers, they came from Baroda to Bombay to meet me. And I didn't have much time because I was squeezed with the time limit. I had one of the job offer, particularly I had to reply on the 7th of March. And here, we are already, I landed on the 4th of March on Tuesday in Bombay. And so we had a few days. See how Swami tests us, he makes it all kind of difficulties until you reach at the end, And so, it was old car. And we started the car and it doesn't start. So typically, there were people who push the car and then they put in the gear and then car starts. And oh my God, and we were really surprised whether we will reach there or not. Particularly, you have to cross Pune. When you go from Bombay and there is a Khandala Ghat, there is a big mountain area, you have to go through that. And there it is very hard on the many cars. But, we were praying even while driving the car. My wife and I would, leading the bhajan, and the rest of the family will join. And, we were just like a big journey to pilgrimage to God, And then we reached Pune, and then after that, we waiting for a few hours, we went to further down, and we reached in the night to Solapur. The second day, now, in Pune, I asked those people, my family, that, hey, do you have a map? How do we go there? Because in this country, I was used to using map. GPS wasn't there at that time anyway. So, but so they said no. So I bought a map from the store, but that map was more general. At least you can see which directions is the city, but they were not detailed maps. So some of the time, our drivers were not familiar with that area, and so sometimes they would love to take a bigger road, and sometimes the bigger road doesn't go the same direction. Finally, we made this about 1,000-kilometer journey, in a 37 hours or something like that, a couple of days. And when we reached Puttaparthi, we reached around 4 o'clock in the morning, and we asked guard there. there is Swamiji there, because we did all these things, but if Swami is not there, what will we do, But luckily he said, no, Swami is here. So Thursday morning we got darshan, Thursday afternoon we got darshan. Friday morning we got really excited that now, and I had a letter, and I would show the letter to Swami, but from the distance Swami will Abhay Hasta, he will, and we get the message that just wait, everything will be okay. And so we got that confidence. We started our prayers. This is a very good time for inner sadhana. When we are there with the Swami, without us realizing, he keeps our mind in him. And so sadhana was going on for my family. We were about 8 people, including 2 drivers. So many simple things Baba would do for devotee. That driver usually in India custom is, when the owner of the car, they goes for the thing, driver always stay outside. So this particular 2 drivers, they were not coming inside the ashram compound. They will watch Swami, but from the outside they will watch Swami. And then my uncle was watching this driver's hand, and gradually, in a few days, his all hands was cured. I mean, Swami doesn't need physical nearness or a touch or things like that. It is unbelievable things was happening. One of the other brother, another cousin who came with me, he got more absorbed in this thing and later on joined a Sai organization in Baroda. And he formed the habit of taking lots of young people to Puttaparthi as a Sevadal volunteer. And he must have taken maybe over 50 or 100 volunteers to Puttaparthi. So he got inspired like that. But God, whatever God reacts or how we get, we don't know. Coming back to the story again, I was praying and crying to Baba. But then this was the second day. First day we reached, and then the Friday morning was the one of the company we had to reply. And so I said, okay, Swami, if I lose that job, doesn't matter. You will find me better job. Whatever job you're going to give me, I'm happy with it. And then I am surrendered to you. Baba was testing and testing. Baba didn't reply. And then it was almost 11 days passed, and one of the big function came in Puttaparthi. And that was the Yugadi Day, the New Year's for South Indian people. And the whole place was filled and everything. And after that, my family decided that we cannot stay anymore. But Baba had, done Abhayasam, asked us to wait, and we had to get the answer. So we waited. My family left back, they went to Gujarat. And so when Swami from there went to Whitefield, and we followed Swami to Whitefield.
So you and your wife followed Swami to Whitefield. Okay.
Yeah, just 2 of us. And then there again, I had a really love for one of the favorite book was the Ram Katha Raswani. And my wife had picked up At the Feet of Sai by Lauren Burke, one of the book, and she was reading that, and I was reading this Ram Katha Raswani while we were doing sadhana there. And then we will go to darshan, and I showed to Swami the letter. I had typed the letters and written down all 5 options, different options I can take. And Swami would happily come and bless it. One time, the Ram Navami was coming pretty soon. I thought in my mind that when I finish this Ram Katha Raswani, Swami will give me answer. And my wife got the similar feeling that when she finishes her book, we will get the answer. And this Ram Navami function was over also. And after that, we went to accommodation office to extend our stay there. And accommodation officer looked at our passport and say, hey, look, on the 4th of April, you have to go out of this country. You don't have time. You better go and get the more visa. Otherwise, you cannot stay here. You'll be out of this room. And so we got another additional problem now. What we are going to do now? So we went to, they asked these people that we went to Kantonmore area. There is a special office. We went there and we asked them. And the manager there, the main person, they say, oh, no. Nobody has authority in India to extend your a landing permit. You don't have a visa. If you have a visa, we can do something, but you just have a landing permit. So we were thinking, what we will do, whether, we'll go to Goa or Sri Lanka or somewhere and come back and get a visa or whatever. And this was a big problem. And we came back to the ashram, and then my wife got very excited. And she asked Swami, we go tomorrow, so give us an interview today. But before she says, she was talking Hindi, but before she said the last part, can we go tomorrow? Swami just said, Acha, and went away from there. She could not finish the request of giving an interview. And so when Swami came to my side, and he blessed very nicely the letter, I had selection of the 5 different options I had. And Swami was very happy, and he blessed it. And I was very happy, but I couldn't know what to do. And so after darshan, we met, and I asked my wife what happened. She said, this is what happened. I said, oh my God. That night, I wrote a letter that Swami, my wife was going to say this thing, but you didn't wait long enough, and you left. But we really, she meant to say that to give us an interview. Next day, Swami came to her dream and told her, get up, you'll be very happy. And she said, Swami, are you kidding? I am here and you are not doing anything. I'm not going to come anymore. And that was a Thursday morning. And Thursday morning, usually we have Nagar Sankirtan, and Swami gives a darshan from the bungalow there. And so I said, wake up, I'm going for the Nagar Sankirtan. She said, no, I'm not going for Nagar Sankirtan. I'm just going to stay. Swami is not answering me anything. So I went for Nagar Sankirtan, Swami Darshan and everything, and she got the dream. So finally she didn't come for Nagar Sankirtan, but she came for the Aarti at the end. And after the Aarti, we wrote the letter, and in Darshan and we sat again, And Swami came to me and blessed letter again. And Swami went to her side, and Swami didn't say anything.
He really is churning you.
I mean, you can imagine this almost months, and we are waiting, and for Swami, everything, And then I said, look, to my wife, since Swami told us to go, we have to go. Because we were planning to have our children put in the Uti school. Swami had a school in Uti, and we knew that some fans told us that Swami takes some children there also. So I said, look, it is as a parents our duty to see school and make sure that everything is fine. Swami told us to go, but Swami has not told us not to come back. We will go tomorrow, just today, right now, and we'll come back, after visiting UT school and everything. So we packed up the bag in a half an hour, and then we went to bus stand around 11:45 in the morning. But bus didn't come. And then finally we picked up the rickshaw, and that rickshaw was local. So we went to the town, and I picked up another rickshaw for city, and we went to the bus stand. You can imagine now, we were very much down, I mean, we were waiting for a month, and we wanted an answer, and nothing was happening, And then at the bus stand, the guy said, no, you should come early in the morning, 7 o'clock. It's already, noon time. We don't have a bus for that. But you can go to Majestic government bus stand. They go to, halfway. So we went to there, and that bus, the Majestic bus stand, government bus goes to the Mysore, halfway to the Uti. And I went to take the ticket, and I told my wife, go and just take the, seat in the bus. But she was standing right there when I got the ticket. She says, what? There is no place in it. Everywhere there was one seat empty, but not 2 seats. But way in the front, number 1, there was one man sitting, but number 2 and number 3 were empty. So I said, okay, let's sit here. Whatever happens will happen, We are praying that I hope nobody comes now. And then in a 10 minutes, bus started. And luckily, at least we got the chance to go to Mysore. But you won't believe, when you are tired, usually, where do you look? You look down. I was looking down. I looked under my feet, and you won't believe what I saw. Under my feet, there was a big printed paper, says Ingersoll Rand. That was one of the company, one of the 5 choices, and one of the best choice we wanted to go. And somebody has cut it, that particular advertisement.
Yes.
And from where I was standing, when I was sitting, my foot under my shoes, You can read Ingersoll Rand from where we were sitting. I showed to my wife. I said, look. And she looked up and she said, oh, pick it up, pick it up. So I picked up the paper, and that paper had the name of Ingersoll Rand. And now my wife tells me the secret. You have to be very careful with whom you go. My wife says, I was praying that God, I don't want verbal answer. I want written answer. And the Swami gave a printed answer. Swami went one step ahead.
And that name was one of the 5 companies.
One of the 5 companies, and that company had also a branch in India, and they had some advertisement in the newspaper. But somebody had cut only the paper size, normal 8.5 by 11 size paper. Somebody has cut it, and it was right under my feet. And we looked around in the bus. Whole bus was clean. There was nothing in the bus.
Wow.
And still we thought, we were so happy, you won't believe it. But that time bus was moving. We cannot do anything. We cannot, enjoy anything, And, we could have, painted the whole town pink,
With so much joy.
Yeah, with the joy. I mean, there was nobody happier than us at that time, because we waited and waited and waited. And I sent telegram to my brother that he just call my company and tell them that I will accept the offer or something, But we had to reply this company on the 7th, almost 3 weeks ago, And but we do not know whether the job offer is open or not. But we thought in our heart that this was Swami's answer. So we went to Uti school, and Mrs. Verma was there, the principal. She welcomed us, very nicely as a parents, future parents of children. And then she showed the whole school, everything, and how children were disciplined and all different things. And when we came back to Bangalore, now we have to check with the Swami again, And my wife had a thinking that she was reading this book at the Lotus Feet of Sai by Laurenberg, and she says, if Swami bless this book, I will be, that means Swami gave a right answer. You won't believe. Swami came to her and not only blessed the book, Swami took the book, opened the book, and where Swami's picture inside, blessed and gave her back. And for me, he was very satisfied. We were satisfied. And then, we left, came back. And then obviously, when I met our personal manager, Donna Vanderbach, I said, Donna, how did you keep my position here open? She said, oh, I had a hunch that you will come here. I said, yes, God gave you a hunch.
Although you accepted the offer 3 weeks later than the date that you were supposed to respond by.
Yes.
That's amazing. So they knew, they felt that you will come. That was also Swami's miracle.
Yeah. And particularly those times, engineering jobs were a little bit difficult. But from this, it was just holding on to Swami. And once you surrender to Swami, you just leave everything to Swami. And everything happens according to his plan.
Yes. So, Uncle, so you were given offers for a job position and you couldn't decide which one Swami wanted you to take. That journey to Swami to get answer for that not only gave you the answer, but after putting you through so many tests, testing your patience, testing your faith, as well as all this is happening for you and your wife while your children were not with you. So that would have also been playing on the back of your mind. And then he took you from one place to the other, and somehow he gave you the answer, but not just the answer for what employment that you should be taking, but also answered the prayers of people who were with you, your family, including your drivers, right? Healing the skin disease of the driver. So it was beyond just the purpose of you trying to get the answer to which job that you should be accepting. So this whole trip is a collection of Swami's leelas and his hands and his guidance, and not just for one purpose, but for many, many purposes put together. What a beautiful story.
And if I may add, this teacher who stayed at our house for this month, I met her after a few years in Puttaparthi, and I asked her, Mane, what are you doing here? She says, oh, after I stayed at your home, before that I had a severe headache all the time. But when I stayed in your home there, we are Sai Center there, obviously, Swami's home. And she said I had a headache which was gone completely. I never had headache after that. And I have become more active in Sai activity. And now I am in Sri Lanka back, but still I am coming to Swami here. So even her life was changed.
Sairam, Uncle, thank you for being with us and sharing this powerful story for all of us to enjoy and recognize Swami's hands in everything that happens in our lives. Sairam, dear listeners, thank you for joining Sai Soul 100 with Dr. Ghanshyam Patel. I am Prabha Swaminathan. Until next time, Jai Sairam.